Within each of the 7 tones of a major scale are 12 divisions of vibrations. Even our best human or mechanical piano tuners cannot differentiate between them. The proper tools or equipment for this breakdown have not been invented. When they are, a whole new world of sound will open up. As you can see, what a vibrant, beautiful scale and gorgeous harmonies will become available once this breakdown is made. The first and second tones are the dark coloring, deeper, and as you move up, they become brighter. After the musical scales are expanded, the higher pitches are the ones that will be used in healing, and the lower ones are the ones that will be used for building. The levels of pitch of the building tones will be likened to the dimensions of a building or bridge to be built. When fed into a computer, they will show the strongest and most economical design for that edifice. The pitches will be blended and applied to building materials. The levels of pitch will also have the power to move building supplies into place, and when finished, will be used to test the finished building or bridge. The application of the science of music to the science of architecture is the furthest into the future. However, this does not discount the importance of this application of music as being the ultimate proof of the power of music. The science of architecture. There are 2 projects in the science of architecture: home modules and musical motors. The first project is the home modules. Modules or components of houses are the wave of the future as far as affording housing for all inhabiting the earth. The ideas behind these modules are that they can be added or changed as needed. A basic starter home would have 2 modules, the physical plant of the house and 1 great room. From that point on, the round modules with connectors could be added, one at a time. If a separate bedroom is needed or wanted as a first supplement, then the bedroom package is purchased. If a separate kitchen is wanted instead, then the kitchen package is purchased. The bathroom and laundry would be part of the physical plant module as original equipment, along with heating and cooling and moisturizing works. Each round module could be rearranged as needed or wanted. We could rearrange the rooms in our house as easily as we now rearrange furniture in our rooms. The walls of these modules would be of a soft, spongy material that would hold a nail for a picture, and when the nail was removed, the wall would seal itself back up. A pass-through window or opening could be cut through from one room to the next and then resealed later when it's no longer needed. The floors of the home would be part of the construction of the module and also be heated. There would be ventilation openings in the ceiling and a natural system of fans in the dome of the ceiling. In other words, embedded into the ceiling construction would be flaps similar to those which are used on airplanes that would divert air downward or toward any area of the module. The lighting of the homes would also be embedded in the walls, or rather the way to light the homes would be embedded. This would be the power source that would allow a lamp to be placed anywhere in the room as long as its cord could reach the wall, anywhere on the wall. This would be true of all appliances, and yet until these cords touched the wall, there would be no evidence of electricity to be seen or felt. It would be perfectly safe. The lights would be of the kind that emit light from a solid sphere. They would not contain a bulb, as we have now. The second project in the science of architecture is the musical motors. The way to heat homes in the future will be with musical motors. The heating and cooling abilities of this system are much more intricate than today's heat pump and will be very sensitive to fine degrees of difference in heat and moisture. Plants in the home will be part of the system. Outside weather data will also be used and fed into the computer. This data is figured and sent to a crystal rose, which then activates the heating or cooling apparatus. The petals have many layers, and the more signals for that tone there are, according to how many people in the home have that tone, the more layers close over the switch calling for that vibration. There will be a disc for each occupant that will look like the old-fashioned player piano rolls. Music is the fuel to run these motors. Musical vibrations will set them into motion. The higher the vibration, the faster the motor runs. There will be screens, so to speak, with wires to be drawn across the screens to sound the musical pitch and set up the vibration that activates the mechanical parts of the pumps. Music applied to the science of architecture will show that the building of controlled environment structures can be done effortlessly through the use of musical formulas applied scientifically to atomic energy subparticles. This engineering marvel was known and used in the past and needs to be brought back at this time. Ancient civilizations understood this science and applied it to many aspects of their lives. The ancient Egyptians were able to create, purify, and sustain a tone of the magnitude to move million-ton blocks of stone to build pyramids. They accomplished this by the use of tuned crystals embedded in hollowed-out stones that were perfect matches, only an octave apart in frequency. We will be able to do this when the vibratory charts are finished. Then the lifting of heavy objects will be done with an interlace of musical pitches. In other words, a computer can be programmed to take the dimensions of an object plus its weight and give, in fractals of color, a pattern that when transposed into musical composition will allow this object to become weightless and able to be lifted and moved by a human being. The science of chemistry. There are two projects in the science of chemistry: New Solar Energy Project and Electric and Radon Cars. The New Solar Energy Project, SolarSelect. The proper use of solar energy is a very simple procedure. Invisible light rays will be attracted by a chemical process into a mirror, intensified in power, and reflected out of the mirror into the collector. Here they heat the circulating medium, move on to activate a battery into making electric current, and move on past this to the aquifer where they are converted into water. This is a system that works on simplicity and mathematical intelligence as to installation procedures. It can be installed on older homes also. The solar units are each capable of heating approximately 700 square feet. The number of units needed will be dictated by the square footage of the home and will also provide enough electricity and water for that square footage. Each hot box will heat approximately 120 square feet. Therefore, the number of hot boxes for each room will be dictated by the square footage of the room. The same system used to heat the home could be used in the summer for cooling a home with a few minor adjustments. The main components are the crystal. The mirror for this project is actually a musical laser consisting of crystal in the back and 7 layers of tuned glass in front. Tuned glass. The tuned glass in the mirror will be of fine optical glass tuned by a process of tempering to an inaudible high octaves of the C major scale. The collector. The collector consists of 3 sections laminated to each other. The front section is made up of 7 layers of tuned spun glass, followed by a battery, which is followed by an aquifer. The battery. The battery part of the collector is a very simple affair based on several scientific principles: that of a chemical reaction, that of an electronic process, and that of a musical process. The battery itself is round, half the diameter of the collector, and is composed of layers of cadmium interspersed with layers of copper wire and 2 thin sheets of musically tuned glass. The aquifer. The aquifer part of the collector is a very highly advanced technology. It is based on a chemical process combined with the musical process of thin tuned sheets of glass. This process will produce 40 gallons of water within a 24-hour period. This is not a lot when compared with most wells of today, but remember, there will be at least 2 units on a home, and most homes will have 3. This will give between 80 and 120 gallons of water per day, and should be sufficient for all the needs of a small family farm. Electric and radon cars. Design number 1, the electric car. The first model of this solar energy system for an automobile could be the exact same system as used on a home, but will be redefined into smaller proportions for future use on autos. It can be brought down to a 2-inch mirror and a 14-inch collector. This would give a battery of 7.5 inches in diameter. There will be no difference in the mirror whatsoever, only in size. One battery will run a car all day and all night. The basic design could be adapted and sold to automobile companies. Design number 2, the radon car. The design of this operating system would be applicable to the cars we are driving presently. This design will use the same engine in present cars and replace the fuel. No one has ever come at the problem from exactly this angle. We could devise a way to run an automobile on radon gas. The radon gas this system generates is not destructive radon gas because it is made naturally from the sun and is not man-made. The unit would be placed on the back of the car with the mirror mounted above the rear window. There would be an airfoil type fin on top of the trunk with the collector mounted in it. The vibratory charts found in the science of music really are something special. These charts will serve as a start on the design of the universe. They are based on the fact that all creation is a repeated pattern. As the different kingdoms were brought into existence on the planet, the repeated process was begun with the exact same vibratory rates manifesting in a different manner. This is what all kingdoms consist of, a different manifestation of the exact same frequency. The world is based on vibrations. This will be the accepted statement of truth for all sciences that will be part of the new science of music. I believe that all sciences can agree with this statement, although it is a very simplistic statement. The fact that all is based on vibration is a connecting link between the sciences so they can talk to each other more clearly and easily. The vibratory charts will be the front runner in the new science because they will be establishing a common language of communication between the old and the new science. Music is dealing in vibratory rates, and mathematics is dealing with the division, coupling, joining, and splitting of these vibratory rates. There needs to be a simple go-between to enable us to see the structure more clearly and simply, a common bond between the kingdoms. All items can be traced back to find their origins as to what chart or charts they belong to. Most compounded items on our earth plane will not be compounded if they are not in musical harmony with whatever they blend with. This science will ultimately bring forth the block theory on which the universe was designed. This will translate into a fantastic form of mathematics in the future that will allow for brilliant designs of technology to be attained. If charts are made of each kingdom, showing the 12 chromatic musical tones down the side and the classifications of evolution across the top, this will give us a total of 144 vibratory rates. If these charts are then stacked on top of each other, this would show that all things falling in the same square are tied together by the same vibratory rate, only on different octaves of resonance. All things falling in the same square would be perfect for enhancing all other items in the same square. To apply these charts to healing, the human vibratory rate will be found by a blood test. The elemental square will give the perfect element for healing energies. The mineral falling in the same square of the geological chart would provide the perfect nutritional supplement. In the same square on the botanical chart, you will find the perfect food. The biological chart will give the perfect organ donor for transplants or even the perfect pet. The vibratory rate or musical tone of the blood will also give the perfect music for easing stress and tuning the person up. The prismatic chart will give the perfect color for the food, clothes, and even home decoration. The atmospheric chart will give the perfect weather conditions or climate for the person, and the astronomical chart will give the perfect astrological influences. The application of these charts for cleaning up pollution of a river, for instance, can be achieved by using some combination of the items found in the same square. Every item manifesting on the earth, whether of nature or man-made, is made up of fundamental elements. Therefore, the elemental kingdom charts are the basis of all charts. If found in nature, these elements will be in harmony of musical chord structure. Those that are man-made should be in harmony, but for the most part are not. Everything in all kingdoms of nature will fall into one of the 144 blocks on one of the charts. It may be by virtue of only one of the semitones, or it may be by many of them combined, but one will always be dominant. If not, you would not have an individual item. The vibratory charts are the basic language for all science. Just as music has notes and various symbols to allow it to be read, and math has figures and signs to allow it to be read, and of course languages have words and punctuation, these charts will be the planning diagram for all manifestation. They are the preliminary stage for the new science to be put into place on our planet. This idea needs to be given to the world. There is no other method that will bring order out of the seeming chaos, and no one realizes that this is the ultimate answer. The theory behind these charts is so immense that it covers all of creation. There can be a chart breakdown done for every category of things found in nature. If found in nature, these elements will be in harmony of musical chord structure. Things manufactured by man should be in harmony, but for the most part are not. If they were, these products would then have a counterbalancing agent in nature to take care of disposal and pollution problems. For every manufactured item, there can be a matching substance in nature to dilute it. If all the vibratory charts were finished, it would be a scientific breakthrough so fantastic and enormous that worldwide acceptance of these charts would be instantaneous. It is a vast project and must be accomplished in a highly scientific manner. These charts could be finished within a 2-year period or less if this were made into a universal project. Many trained minds and research facilities are needed. Each of these charts will need a head scientist overseeing the process for that particular kingdom. They would then assign the subcharts to other individuals. These subcharts and subcharts could be worked on by many people. A collective effort could be instigated. All scientists know we are on the brink of a major breakthrough, thus the focus on chaos, but none of them know how to pull the chaos into order and bring it to the point where it is understood and can be worked with. These vibratory charts give the answers to these problems.